What's up, everybody? It's Tim and Gemma from the Mental Health Hour, bringing you another mental health moment. And today we'll be taking a look at our episode on alcohol misuse, alcohol abuse, alcoholism. What is it? What are the differences between them? What can they cause? And how do we live or cope with these issues? All right, so to start out, I think it would be helpful to take a look at the differences between alcohol abuse and an active alcohol addiction. If you're a fan of the show or you've watched for any period of time, you know that I struggle with alcoholism and I'm in active recovery. So alcohol abuse, when you look at the word abuse, it means to habitually misuse something. Abuse is not necessarily an active alcohol problem, but it's more of can be a problem kind of thing when you are drinking with friends or by yourself. Usually alcohol abusers have self-restraint, which when you're in active addiction, you don't have any self-restraint. Abusers also usually don't have very high tolerance, so they get drunk quicker, but they can function completely normal. A lot of people I've talked to in the past have said they can function just fine on alcohol. And they won't suffer from any withdrawal symptoms, which is something we'll look at when it comes to addiction. When you're in between drinking periods, like at work or something like that, you're not experiencing any symptoms of withdrawal. Right. And alcohol addiction or alcoholism is a bit more severe. Now you're at the point where you are hitting those withdrawal symptoms in between periods of drinking, maybe the shakes or sweating, these types of things. Constantly thinking about it and making it the top priority in your life over everything else, planning it into your day or your schedule. Alcohol addiction or alcoholics generally have a higher tolerance because they build it up over time. I knew I could drink a lot more than most of my friends could, and that wound up being a problem versus me thinking it wasn't a problem. I thought I just had a high tolerance, whereas that was abnormal for what alcohol is supposed to do to your body. And they also will continue to drink even though they know it's harming them physically and mentally. They just can't stop. All right, so that's a quick look at the difference between abuse and addiction when it comes to alcohol, but there's many other factors that can play into it. Everybody's body is different. There's also red flags that almost every alcoholic is guilty of, things such as hiding bottles around the house or habitually lying. I know I was guilty of both of those things, but I want to leave a website in the video description for you guys to look at, where there's a lot of great information if you want to explore more yourselves. But for now, let's throw it to Gemma so she can tell us a little bit about what can happen if you're abusing alcohol or addicted to it.
Okay, so now that we have talked about the differences, what I want to discuss now is what it can do to you. Now, because I'm from the UK, I'm going to be basing it on UK units. And to give you an idea of that, one average pint of lager or beer at the usual strength is around 2 units of what I'm talking about now. Okay, so the consumption of 1 to 2 units will increase your heart rate, and it gives you that warm feeling, warm, sociable, talkative feeling. Like people will refer to it as like Dutch courage, I guess. Then 4 to 6 units after that will start to affect the brain and the nervous system. It can make you feel a little bit lightheaded, affects your reaction time and your coordination. 8 to 9 units will start to make your reactions much slower. It will start to slur your speech, your vision, you start to lose focus, you might get a bit dizzy. things like that. Then when we start talking about 12 or more units, which is considered consuming a very large amount of alcohol, because if we put that into perspective of the pints that we discussed, that is around about 6 pints of lager or beer at the average strength, not talking the high strength ones, we're talking normal strength. So this is where you get considerable risk of alcohol poisoning. And alcohol poisoning occurs when excessive amounts of alcohol will then interfere with your automatic functions that your body does, such as breathing, heart rate, your gag reflex, which is actually what prevents you from choking. So if you pass out and you are sick, you can't react to that. You can't, you can keep it in your throat and you can actually drown on your own vomit. So that's another thing to be mindful of. But long-term alcohol abuse can give you things like high blood pressure, cause a stroke, pancreatitis, liver disease, and it can seriously cause a decline in your cognitive function, have long-term effects with like the liver, cirrhosis, things like that, and it can really, really make you unwell.
All right, so that's a quick look at what can happen with long-term use of alcohol and short-term use, the effects on your body and your mind. One thing I learned at rehab, and one of the most important facts in my recovery that I hold true, is that when they say alcohol is a depressant, I never understood exactly what that meant until sobriety. I feel much happier. Certainly, alcohol depresses the body and allows you to get some sleep, if you will. It stops everything from racing. So it does work in that aspect of the word depress. But the bigger word depression, it just intensifies the depression. And a lot of us drink to mask the depression. But like myself, I didn't realize exactly how much devastation I was doing on my depression and how much I was intensifying it with the alcohol until I got sober and I could see how much better I feel. So that's a quick look today at alcohol abuse, misuse, etc. If there's any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. And if you know somebody that needs some help or you want to reach out to us about help for the alcoholic, please feel free to. Gemma has our socials coming right now.
All right, yeah, so as always, the bio link is below. That is where you will find all of our socials. If you haven't already, join the Discord, because there is a load of things in there which are helpful, just a really friendly community and loads of things that we share from the show. It'll tell you when we're going live and everything like that. The website is there as well. Plus, if you want to send any anonymous questions or if you want to reach out in any way on there, there's a form to do that as well. But if you haven't already, do check it out. And until next time, let's see you around.